Right then, we are back with XG File, Stephen Howson, Ronaldo Brown. You alright?
Yeah, good. You see me, I didn't realise that me getting played in that intro then it is the video like of me being used. Is me itching my head. Like I got nits or something.
Oh well.
Need something better than that.
Let everyone know what's going on in the comments. You can all ask any questions that you want in there. We'll get into them. The weirder, the stranger, the better. We'll get into all of that stuff with everybody. But what we're talking about here, I see Varane and Casemiro going Saudi.
Saudi, screen's bright, innit? But anyway, so basically we've seen a few reports recently. There was one more so last night from Relevo or Relevo. I don't know if I pronounced that correctly, but it is mostly their news is tailored towards that part of the world.
What, Saudi?
No, not Saudi. South America or Brazil or
Varane's from France, like.
Or Spain. No, but I'm talking about the Casemiro angle first. Yeah, because Casemiro is the major one, and there has been a few doubts recently that have come out where I did write it in the notes, by the way, and Muppeters did echo this, where he thought some of this doubt about Casemiro and his future might actually be coming from his people and his camp, because if you connect the dots, Romano has also come out and said that United are heavily interested in signing João Neves, who would be a replacement six for Casemiro. And
long-time replacement.
A long-term.
Not like see on Saturday, sort of.
Yeah, a long-term replacement. Or even someone that we probably was viewing in January, if anything. But I feel like, obviously, Benfica, young players, be well priced out of that for January, probably. But also to do with his performance and kind of the trajectory of the team and the way of playing, and obviously his decline in obviously his showing this season. He's probably having doubts himself, but I think there's also doubts about his capability of playing week in, week out for United also. And that's where these Saudi links have come out, where it seems that he's having some doubts. And I think if you are looking for a little bit of a last payday as an aging player or once great, then why wouldn't you go to Saudi?
You absolutely would. Yeah. And anyone saying that they wouldn't, I think he's lying, right? Because you would. At the end of the day, you get a couple of things that happen as a footballer, and you know this as good as anybody. When you're coming through as a footballer, if you was given the opportunity to play for Manchester United for free, you'd have done it.
Yep.
It didn't happen. So you go play somewhere else. And then the next best thing to playing for United for free would be to have a career in professional football or sport. With that professional career, yes, Messi's going to earn hundreds of millions. Ronaldo will earn hundreds of millions. Haaland probably now earn hundreds of millions. Mbappe earns hundreds of millions. But we know how good you would have to be like the third choice left back at Southampton. You ain't earning hundreds of millions.
I think the third choice left back at Southampton still earning more than enough to pay the rent though.
Yeah, he's paying his rent, but for how many years? He's not going to have the profile or the career to be able to just chill.
Is that in the Premier League? I know what you mean, but is that in the Premier League?
I think there will be Premier League players. Well, they're Championship, aren't they? But I would say there are definitely players in the Premier League who need to go to work afterwards, and a lot of them, right? Might even be more than the ones who, because we always think everyone's on 250 a week.
I'm always telling people about this, but also I still think even if you are on 5k a week in the Championship for Southampton, and that's because you're a high-end Championship team, what is that annually?
That's 250k a year annually.
Yeah.
So that's 125k a year annually because you're getting 50% tax on that. You're probably you're going to be spending so much dough on trainers just to keep up with the rest of the dressing room because you're the dancers. I think they earn more than that through sponsors and other stuff. They probably get into. But not everyone. There'll be some people who've got shit agents who can't get them fuck all.
Yeah.
Right. We got you a free tea bag. Well done. Right. So when it is that stage. And Casemiro and Varane probably aren't in that category.
I don't think they're in that category.
They're cool for the rent forever, I would imagine. Unless they go absolutely Floyd Mayweather with it, they should be sound. But I think for any player that's a professional, if there is a monster payday to be had when you're no longer at the peak of your powers, go fucking get it. Go get paid, mate. I got no dramas with that whatsoever. Can you stay here and win stuff? Can you be an asset to the team? Sweet. If that's no longer the case, go get paid, mate.
Nah, I 100% agree, but I think the argument that this comes into, like even beyond whether he's going to get a big payday or whatever, is do United at this current juncture still need Casemiro?
What happened then, mate?
What, me?
No, I just put the thumbnail back on the screen.
Now, do we still... can United afford to get rid of Casemiro right now? Or what side of the fence people on? Do people want to keep him, or do people think...
Let us know in the comments. Can we? Because... And don't be reactionary with this, because, look, he's been shit this season.
Yeah.
Do you anticipate him being this shit for the rest of the season? Because I don't. I'm going to be honest with you. Class is permanent, in it? And I think the whole team's sort of shit the bed this year. Everybody should get the opportunity to turn this around. Everyone. Look at Maguire's performance level.
100%,
He's managed to turn some of them around.
He's up to it as well.
And I said he was done.
He's up to it as well, and that brings us on to Varane as well, because Varane's also been linked. His article was actually on Sun Football, so I don't know how much you agree with that. But he said around 15 to 20 million United will probably be able to get at least for Rafael Varane. I'm not sure we'd actually get more than that. But
NT says, well, no, we're talking about elite athletes who have to pay for trainers and physios, etc. But not living like a king on 125k a year makes me happy I don't live in the UK anymore. Like, no, look, if you're in a career like any of us and you got paid 125k a year after tax in any job, that's balling out of control level.
That's balling.
Yeah, that's absolutely fucking chilling, right? No one in this fucking building that I know of is on anywhere near that sort of cash. But a professional career can end next week. A sports career.
It's because when you're working a job, whether it's white collar, blue collar, whatever job that you're working in, you might be in that industry or whatever, or working for what, 20 years,
you might
25
have 20,
years,
30, 40 years.
30, 40 years. Whereas if you're a footballer, for the majority, it's probably 10 years, probably even less than that.
It's probably not even.
Do you know what I mean? And we only, the thing is, the players that we see are the ones that are at the pinnacle of their powers at Premier League football, where they have longer careers. We don't know about the players that are fluctuating between League 2, League 1 and Championship, and they're in there for 8 years.
Nick Culkin at the minute is playing for Paddock.
Yeah.
Right? You go and look at his career.
Yeah.
Do you reckon he was on 125k throughout the majority of that? Because he was probably backup keeper for a fair lot of that, I would say.
I don't reckon he would have been on that much at that.
Do you know what I mean? So he's had a full sort of 10-ish year career, I would say, after he left United. So actually, more like 20 year. I mean, he's playing for Paddock now, but he left United in 99. He'd have been on pretty good money at United. Probably would have gone pretty good money on his first couple of contracts. But, like, he does landscape gardening now. That's his job. So and I don't know how long he's done that for, but he does landscape gardening. And that was a guy that was
does he work
United
for someone, or is it like his own?
I think it's his thing.
It'll be his. I'm going to say, there's a huge difference between you saying, oh, he's a landscape gardener, like he's basically like he's on the dole labourer, or rather than he's a landscape gardener for himself.
I get the impression that he gets to go do that work, but also that he did need a job. Like, I don't think it was exclusive one of the
Nah, it's because the way you said landscape gardener made it seem like he was just someone that gets, like, works for someone that gets pulled out to do landscape gardening. I think whereas if he's a former footballer that had enough money to kind of make his own, like, landscape gardening, whatever that world of work thing, that's
different. He could
different.
probably do now for the next 20 years.
Yeah, exactly.
Until he retires.
But I think that's different from being a footballer who's come out of work and then has to, like, desperately go find a job to kind of, like, any job. Do you know what I mean? Because when you're saying he's a landscape gardener, there's a difference between being, like, almost having his own company or his own thing rather than working for someone else, if you get what I'm saying.
Well, we got one of your mates.
Yeah.
And I think I told you about this, didn't he? He phoned me up not long ago and said, you got any jobs going? And I said, what do you do? And he was like, I don't know, I've never had a job. He's a footballer. Yeah,
but it's also true. No, but
you know what I mean?
I do know what you mean. But Daniel Berry's right as well. Like, if you're a footballer, footballers doing a job after they've retired, it might not necessarily just be money you're motivated. How many people want to be in a world of work where they've been doing it for 20 years, probably from when they were youngsters, from when they actually retire? Not everyone wants to actually sit around and do nothing at the same time.
Oh no! So. Purpose is huge. Purpose is everything.
Yeah, exactly.
It might be everything, actually. No, we've been talking recently. I'm probably going to go back and do something with the military. Don't know what that looks like yet, or how I'm going to go and do that. But, like, we get paid decent money for sponsorships and stuff here. I'm going to be leaving those to go and get paid next to fuck all as a private soldier in the army as a reservist. It's not about the money. Yeah. It's about there's a purpose that I need to serve to do that.
Exactly.
And there's loads of we think we've spoken about this recently. There's people that won't take professional football jobs but will get paid pretty good wage, pretty good, not amazing wage, playing like National League, National North because they've got a job that really fulfills them in a different way.
Yep.
And they'd actually lose, so they'll get, normal job, normal wage. They get a nice little tickle bonus on top to play football. But if they just played football, they'd earn less than they do now.
Accumulatively. Yeah, it's true. But I don't know. I think it depends on how footballers are now. I think Premier League footballers at the top level or any of the top six.
Well, that's literally the tip of the iceberg.
Yeah, tip of the iceberg. I think they earn more than enough where they'll be fine forever. But for the majority, they definitely probably would want to do something after work, whether that's in the media, whether that's being a football agent. Some of them like to want to stay within the hemisphere of a football. But some of them want to actually take a break though and not do anything for a little bit. But it's also the fact that when they actually earn that money, they live to a certain means. So it's whether I don't think they think it's unlimited. I think it's just if you can afford it, then that you live to the amount of money you earn, which is balling out. But then also, once that actually ends, can you still afford the same car, the same house, the same lifestyle that you give your wife and kids? Do you know what I mean? I think that's what comes into it.
A man there with a super chat says, before you had a YouTube channel, did you enjoy football more now, considering that you have to look purely for analysis and talking points? It was definitely different. It was definitely different. I don't know if I would say I enjoyed it more. I just enjoyed it different. It is a different thing, and that's not necessarily a negative thing, because there's definitely things I enjoy more now I've got the experience that I've got, especially with some of the coaching stuff. Yeah. Like when I clock a pattern someone's doing, like, I know what they're doing. Whereas before I would have just watched the end product and been cool with it. Now I've seen...
So you still enjoy it the same amount, but just in different ways? Or
I think I do enjoy it the same amount, yeah. There's some stuff that pisses me off that where it feels like a job sometimes.
Yeah.
Europa League, usually. It feels like a fucking job. But otherwise,
because the thing is,
I've had shit jobs. This ain't one of them.
Yeah, we might even still see Europa League this season as well.
Yeah, we might. I think we probably will.
I think how we get on against, is it Galatasaray?
Yeah, you got to beat Galatasaray and Bayern to have a sniff of anything, and that might you might go 0 for 2 in that, being real.
I still mentally recover from that Copenhagen game. Fucking hell, that was pure insanity, But I think that it was one of them things. If anything could go wrong, it all went wrong within that game. Yeah. And it feel like that's just been the case for the majority of the season.
Going back on the footballers thing, because that's right, and there's a good point there that Daniel Berry made. There's a lot of players, especially those from poorer backgrounds, support an entire network of people. That's
a bit that I had in my head that I didn't mention about. There's a lot of footballers that also have a lot of people that financially rely on him, and they end up being the people that kind of anchor their ability to have more money post-career.
I saw something with a footballer recently, who was saying someone got with his sister, and he was like, we made it, and he was like, we didn't do fuck all, mate, I did. And he was like, the way his sister had sort of...
Was that Mikel? Don't know if Mikel said it on.
Yeah, that was it.
To you.
It was that, no, he didn't say it. No, but it was him. Yeah, that's who it was. Yeah, I couldn't remember. And I'm thinking, fucking hell, that's an absolute madness. But
you heard the Adebayor one as well. The Adebayor story, saying that when he couldn't afford to send as much money that he did to the whole village, he booted off, black magic, juju, all that. They threatened him with madness,
Ash said something. It's same lane, different sort of thought on this though, which he was like, I think Ash has done an all right enough where he can pick and choose what he does now. He's still going to have to work going forward. I think he does it just to keep busy as well, to give him some sort of purpose every day. But he says, like, he never wanted to be one of those players that has to take every little gig that gets flung at you because, shit, don't know what's going to happen. Because it must be scary. You go from having a fucking big wage every month and all you do is just focus on playing football to like... ghost, nothing coming in.
Especially when that's all you've known since you were like 10. It becomes like a certain level of programming as well.
And he was like, he knows footballers that just got to take every fucking gig that comes their way because
to keep the cash
they
flow.
Either didn't put enough away, or they mismanaged some investments. People lose money on investments as well all the time.
Yeah, that happens because they might have tried to do the right thing and it ends up not working out.
But this restaurant, and the restaurant goes tits up. Oh shit. That
yeah,
was my retirement.
Yeah, that's actually shite. Someone says Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving, all Americans and any other fuckers who...
why don't we do Thanksgiving though?
Because it's an American tradition. What?
Is that the only reason?
Yeah.
What are they actually...
Why don't we celebrate Independence Day? Because it's an American thing.
What are they actually giving thanks for though?
I don't know enough about it to comment.
I thought it was July 4th was their Independence Day.
But it's not. Thanks. Right, I think and I'm right, fuck it, let's butcher it, and then everyone can just correct me in the comments like you were going to do anyway. So what my rudimentary...
Why have you copy and pasted that? We've seen it. That's what I was talking about. Can you go down to comments, please?
What my rudimentary understanding of Thanksgiving is, it was some sort of a collaborative thing between the Native Americans and the Pilgrims. But the fucking Pilgrims were like religious outcasts and fucking lunatics and like extremists. That's why they went. People forget that. They weren't all these nice dudes with a buckle on their hat. Like, they were like religious extremists who wanted mad shit. But anyway, so it's the Thanksgiving is some sort of collaborative. I believe the Native Americans helped them out or give them food and shared it with them or some shit like that. That's the move.
Oh, so it's... All right.
And then they genocided them.
Is it also another excuse just to eat more for the Americans?
Do you know what it is? Christmas is this. Christmas is exactly this, right? It's a midwinter feast to get you through that fucking horrible part of year, especially in like Northern Europe, where it's cold and people will fucking die because it was that cold, especially back in the day. People save up a little bit of finger and then they have a big party in the middle of the worst part of the year. 3 months of the year, let's say halfway through it, let's have a big fucking piss up and food and all the rest of it, and then it gets you through it. Because you know when Christmas is, right? It's like 4 days after the winter solstice, which is the deepest part of winter. Okay. So you have a winter
Is that
feast.
still the case?
Yeah. Because I believe the lowest sunrise is on the 22nd, 23rd, 24th of December, I believe. And then and I think the winter solstice is the 22nd or 21st of December, because that's when it hits the lowest point. And then after, then it starts rising again. And I think that's why you have a winter feast there, because you're like, we made it through the worst part of winter. It's now getting lighter, even though it's like by minutes, but it's now getting lighter. I believe that's why Christmas is a thing. Because if you try and CSI this shit and you go, right, okay, we got this St. Nicholas fella and he flies, he's got reindeer and elves and turkey, and Jesus is related to this, and where the fuck does the Easter Bunny come in? It's just fucking nonsense. There's far too many early Christian and pagan sort of festivals just got fucking mashed together, and now we have Christmas and the Easter Bunny. Am I right? Am I wrong?
That's what you got to go on, like a little bit of a dialogue like that in XG Files, and then the comments will help us out.
Yeah, the comments will correct us. Musician 4 says Ronaldo being in the world. I feel like I have, but then there's times like this where I feel like I haven't. There you go. Mulvaney says Christianity placed Christmas Day in the middle of a pagan holiday to help disrupt the previous religious beliefs and help Christianity spread through Europe. Probably that. Abner says modern Christmas is just a Coca-Cola festival. It turns out that you smashed the Thanksgiving. Did I? Was I correct? Reasoning for someone that's non-American. Well, who said that? That's the most hilariously accurate description of Thanksgiving ever from Lisa T. But I think everyone was agreeing with you before that. And then Football Factory says, I take it the Ghana right wasn't big into history at school. Do you know what, yeah? I actually got an A in history. You'd actually be very surprised. I think XG Files audience would be so surprised at my school grades. I think they would, yeah. Do you know what I mean? I'm not sounding like Letitia, because I'd have said, oh, there's fucking vaccines and all sorts of weird shit in there, man. Relax yourselves. Do you think, would you have Letitia on an XG Files? No. That's a fucking melon, mate. Do you know what I mean? Would you have someone like Paul Merson? Yeah, because at least Merson's got some good stories, hasn't he? Yeah. Paul Merson's when he was on the smash and that. Yeah. Kenny B says, love the Stretford Paddock 99th minute winner against City. Yeah, it's good, that, wasn't it? Yeah, it was. We've had 3 weeks, and we got a big game on Saturday as well against a bit of a problematic team for us. Not beat them in 3-4 times of asking. Not beat them since I last played. Yeah. Since I last played them. So the last time we played them was in
And Cam
2020. But we had that 99th minute winner against Main Road. We had to hold on a bit for the last 10 minutes or so against West Didsbury. We had a fucking great win on Saturday against Clay.
Bro, that was tough.
Tough game, that good side.
I think that was probably one of the toughest games I've played in for Paddock, and one of the things that I've had to keep the most concentrated. I felt like I couldn't switch off for a second in that game.
I don't think you could.
Do you know what I mean? Nah. And it was also one of the few games for Paddock where I think both teams, no player really could have more than a couple of seconds on the ball.
No, it was intense.
Do you know what I mean?
It was a very intense game. And I think I'm going to keep my powder dry on that. I'm not going to give, just in case anyone sends it to the opposition, but I'll keep my powder dry on that. All I'll say is, look, they were a very good team.
Yeah,
and I think if we played them again the next day, we'd probably lose that game.
Probably.
A lot of things went our way.
Probably. Hey,
but it is what it is.
We're interested to see him again, but I know we're going to something, but T800 says the same with Halloween. It was officially a pagan holiday, which makes sense because with Halloween, what are you actually celebrating?
Wasn't it All Hallows Day? Wasn't that what we were originated?
Because Halloween...
It's an Irish thing, isn't it?
Halloween is dodgy in a way where it's just a night where everyone dresses up in things that are very like ghostly or borderline satanic, and then kind of
Or is it just a bit of fun?
But you got to think about where it originates from.
So what does it originate from?
It feels like a bit of a night to celebrate evil, but then it's been kind of nice.
But what about Mexico Day of the Dead then?
Sweets and whatever.
Is Cinco de Mayo the Day of the Dead? Cinco de Mayo. Isn't that, or is that a different date in the Mexican calendar? So Mexico celebrates people who've passed on a certain day, and everyone wears skulls and things like that. Day of the Dead. It's a big thing. Is that their version of Halloween, or have I conflated the two things there a little bit?
I'm not sure. I'm sure we'll have someone that knows about it, because I won't. I won't know about it. But All Hallows Eve is still a pagan thing.
There you go.
Someone says Satanism isn't dodgy or evil. All right, if that's what you believe.
DB Cooper says celebrating getting candy. Yeah, I think it's like, what's funny is Janine's always been like, she likes witches and all that sort of shit. And it's sort of rubbed off on Blake. She likes witches. She likes watching. I think there's a summer. Is it Halloween High or something like that? She watches. It's just a bit of fun, isn't it? And
because they'd know, obviously, someone says witch. What's a male witch called? That's what I said earlier.
Oh, yeah, you fucking killed that before.
Warlock.
Cinco de Mayo is an American holiday. Really? Are you sure it's not Mexican? Días la Muerta is the Day of the Dead. There you go. Is that on a different day? I guess it's not on the 5th of May. Hence Cinco de Mayo. Cinco de Mayo, right. So is it just made of 5th?
See, it was Warlock.
Días de los Muertos is the 1st of November. Oh, there you go. See, so basically their Day of the Dead is the day after Halloween. There's obviously some sort of old school pagan ritual around that weekend, isn't there?
Yeah.
The same way the winter solstice and Christmas are like, they're fucking right there, mate.
Nah, it makes sense. Do you know what I mean? Day of the Dead straight after Halloween definitely seems to be some sort of link there.
There is there.
100%.
So if you went back and said, right, okay, I haven't got my phone on me, otherwise I'd chat GPT the shit out of this. By the way, if you're not on chat GPT, you're wrong, because it's awesome. So I would say, right, okay, what is the link between... so what's Cinco de Mayo, 5th of May? May bank holiday in England? Okay, what's the origins of that? Why do we have that? What is the religious or pagan festival or
what's the English,
seasonal festival?
What's the English translation for Cinco de Mayo?
5th of May. It's the holiday of the 5th of May. Think about it. Cinco, 5, de.
I actually got a B in Spanish as well. So that tells you all you need to know about school grades.
All Souls Day, 1st of November. That's right. So there you go. So basically... everyone just got a different fucking translation of the same book, didn't they?
Yeah, 100. Yeah, exactly.
Everyone just everyone took it a little bit left and cracked on, but it was all the same. So when we were all fucking just coming off the fucking plains of Africa and starting jibbing into caves and climbing up trees and shit like that, we all had certain traits that we like to do. So we might have all, maybe in May it was because the berries started showing every year, and we was like, let's have a party because the berries are now ripe and we can eat them. And then Maybe there was some sort of autumn solstice. I don't think that's a thing. I think it's only winter and summer that they do that sort of thing. But maybe there was some sort of, lunar event or space event where you can visually see it, and we go, do you know what? This is always at the 3/4 point of the year. We do this and we celebrate whatever.
So there's 365 days in a year, right? Do you think there's actually at somewhere in the world, or for some whatever reason, there's a special day or an event for every day of the year?
Probably, yeah.
Do you reckon? Because I'd actually want to find out if there's one day where with nothing.
Like the 14th of April.
Like the 14th of April. That can't be something.
The 9th of May.
But I think
it's like a random day.
I think if you Googled any day of the year, Google would tell you that day is something specific like this.
What about the 29th of Feb?
That's
This is your leap year one.
The leap year one. So that's specific.
It's a leap year, I guess.
Chinese New Year, is that?
So you would have. So do you know there's supposed to be 13 months instead of 12?
So what happened to that month?
Well, if you did 13 lots of 4 weeks, you get 52 weeks. It fits perfectly.
Okay.
You don't have to have a month with 30, one with 28, one with fucking 31.
That's true, isn't it? 52 weeks in a year, 13 times 4.
That gives you 364 days, plus the extra one every now and then. Bosh.
But maybe, but there's not a definitive rule that says there's 4 weeks in a month, though. I think people just say that just because it's probably the nearest.
Yeah, but if you had 13 months, it would be bang on, Monday through Sunday, 4 weeks, bosh.
And what would that 13th month be called?
It's probably got a name, right? Someone in the comments let us know. What is the 13th month called? Yeah, 13 months with 28 days each, 364 days, and just call the extra fucking day a bank holiday. It don't count. How easy would that be for everything? Because these fucking stupid months beginning on all different days is bullshit.
What is the 21st night of September? People are going to start just making stuff up now. But by the way,
the first of the year would always fall on the same day of the week. Yeah, and the first of the month as well.
Jan-tember. I like it.
Jan-tember. 13 is bad luck, but why? It's not though, is it? All these fucking... Do you know there's half of them in them fucking hotels in America that don't have a 13th floor? What do you think the whole building will cost? Like Mother Nature can't count?
So probably something...
Absolutely done me in there. 12A and 14.
There's probably something pagan about that. But... Because I think my mate's birthday was on the 13th of October, actually. It was on the Friday the 13th. Great night. Nothing happened.
16th of September, Mexican Independence Day. Speaking of that, do you know
what?
I
was going to say, I feel like you might be missing something here.
What?
Something on a pod that you got to talk about, that you got to transition into, that you got to segue into.
Oh!
Do you know what I mean?
It's a word from our sponsor.
Look at this one.
Is he just flapped? Is he just flapped in the corner?
Yeah, it's flapped.
Any time now to be a word from our sponsor. Give me any comments in. We'll figure it out.
Duelember's another one.
Peter says someone explained this somewhere on YouTube.
This video is proudly sponsored by 10Trade. Get ready for a game-changing opportunity with their funded trader program. It's your chance to trade with 10Trade's funds while gaining valuable trading experience and skills and earning extra income from your positions. This program, available exclusively on the MT5 trading platform, empowers traders to put their skills, market knowledge, and strategies into action. Joining is a breeze. All you got to do is click the link in the description and enjoy free access to 10 Academy's ebooks, online courses, webinars, and essential tools. But the best part, when you hit your trading targets, you can earn a scaled up account of up to $500,000 and take home 70% of the profits from your successful trades. Don't miss on this extraordinary opportunity. Click the link in the description for more information about the 10Trade funded trader program.
Ed says, like 200 years ago, some French philosopher proposed a 13th month. Oh, is it because the 13th disciple was Judas? The what? Undecember.
Yeah.
Oh, so apparently there is actually a 13th month and it's Undecember.
Undecember? I feel like I can't
Start referring to it as everything.
Undecember.
Yeah. So let's put that meeting in for the 4th of Undecember.
And then they'll be like...
Oh, sorry, do you still use the 12-month calendar, you absolute pain?
And they'll be like, that month doesn't exist. And you'll be like, Google it. And then it actually comes up. But Daniel Dark says 2 months was added to the 10th month year, to the 10-month year.
Yeah, because like September is 7, October is 8, is November 9, maybe it is, I don't know. December is obviously 10.
Nuevo, yeah, 9.
It was July was added for Julius Caesar, and I don't know what the other one was that was added. I don't know.
August.
Oh yeah, maybe it was. Might have been August. Yeah.
August is the 8th month, but it doesn't actually have any like numbered connotation to it. October would have been 8, but it's the 10th month. Yeah, there was definitely.
Make
it
calendars
makes sense.
great again.
Do you know what I mean?
13's not unlucky. Ironically, it was the Gregorian calendar was by the Pope Gregory the 13th.
Right, 13 is unlucky because a Viking thing. Loki was the 13th.
I thought it was unlucky because of the Knights Templar thing. There was a Friday the 13th where
in France.
Yeah, and they just murdered all the Knights Templars on one particular.
I also feel like there's probably so much that has happened in history, obviously, that
probably everything.
Everything's probably happened in history.
I'd say in history everything's probably happened.
I reckon. I'd bet my house on it, but I think you could find something that has a negative connotation towards the number 13 and everyone will just use that as an excuse for 13 being unlucky. Yeah. They'll be like, oh, this happened and it was the 13th person, or this happened in...
September the 11th, that was the 11th. No one ever made a thing about the 11th happening on the 11th, did they?
Nah, because now they tell you 11's an angel number.
Is it?
Have you not seen that?
No.
I've seen the amount of women that I've seen screenshot 11:11 when it's 11:11 on the clock on their phone and they screenshot it and be like, oh... The angels are following me.
No, that's the time, mate.
Nah.
That's the fucking clock. That's how it works.
I swear down to you.
Does it normally go 11:09, 11:12? No, it doesn't.
Nah, there's this affinity with angel numbers now where, like, say, even if it's 13 minutes past 1, it says 13:13. Or just basically all the same numbers together in a line. And then it'll be like... They'll be behind a car.
Wait till they get to midnight on 24-hour clock, they're going to shit a
They'll be behind a vehicle and it says like 11 somewhere and then like 11 somewhere else and they take a picture and they're like, 11:11, my angel number's always following me. It's insane. It's almost as bad as the zodiac sign thing. Astrology.
Yeah, mental. Because basically, so there's what, 9 billion people on the earth, so you share a horoscope with 750 million people. Is that what we're saying?
Yes.
Right, so, no. Your shit was already pre-aligned and no, shut up. I went to a Darren Brown thing and he uses a lot of like mind manipulation and stuff like that, and I saw some shit on the stage because I ended up getting onto the stage before I was on YouTube or anything like that, because what an absolute car crash that would have been now. But I saw some of the way he did it. I mean, it's stage magic, but some of the stuff that he does and the way he suggests stuff, and because he breaks it down after he's done something, so he'll have like a lot of like I think the trick that he did was he said, right at the end of the show, someone out of this audience is going to pick a word out of a random newspaper somewhere in the, like one of the free newspapers, like your local one that gets bosh through your door. Like the Advertiser or the Reporter or whatever they are, like they do the free one that they just stick through your door every now and then. Yeah. So he goes up, someone's going to pick the newspaper, pick the page, pick the paragraph, and pick the word. And I've already highlighted the word, the page, the paragraph, and that newspaper, bashed it into an envelope, and it's over there on the back of the stage. And you go, show me, magic boy, I want to see this. And then all the way through the fucking thingy, he goes, all right, oh, by the way, just pulls up a random person. He goes, right, where you from? And they'd be like, Derby. And he goes, all right, cool. What's your local paper called? They'd be like, Derby Advertiser. All right, cool, thank you. And then someone else will come up on stage and blah, blah, blah. And he'll go, all right.
I'm sure that magicians have paid actors in his audiences.
1,000,000%. But I was one of the people fucking called up. So I know that it was, unless he blags you into like...
Do you think there's also...
7 of the people were planted and you were like... And maybe he has a couple of like pick a page number, and they have like a few pages that you can pick from or something.
Nah, I hear you, because I also think they could, if you've booked on, especially if you've obviously bought a ticket to see a magician, I'm guessing they'll find out the names of everyone and where they're sitting. Yeah. Do you think that could play into it? Or is that too much of a stretch?
Nah,
if they want to pick out a certain person, could they do a bit of research?
But then even picking it out down to the fucking word. And he told you at the start of the show where it was going to be. And then and someone randomly, it's obviously not random, he uses suggestions. So he will say and do things that make you respond in a certain way. That's how he does it. He manipulates you, that's it. But it's still fucking wild to watch it, where he pulls out and he goes, right, okay, here is the Derby advertiser from Thursday, the 9th of January, 1998, and paragraph 4, word 3 is, read this out for me, please. And he'd be like, exclusive. And he'd be like, oh, it'd be something more random than that. It'd be like, Fiesta. And he'd be like, what the fuck? Wild.
Fucking wild. Well, I don't know. Sorry, something caught my eye was Arteta's son saying, what a United talk. So he's obviously an Arsenal fan.
Hey, shut me dick.
Listen, I wish the absolute worst on every Arsenal fixture and Arsenal fan, in terms of, not personally, maybe a little bit personally, but I don't know why he's just so unbearable. And I feel like they've gotten worse as well on social media. They've just gotten worse and worse the better.
I think United fans have as well, to be honest. I just see a lot of absolute cranks. Maybe it's just social media. It just exposes the cranks.
But I think you know what was surprised me is, obviously, when you work within the YouTube hemisphere and you see obviously subscribers and comments and that type of world, it seems so different from the fans that you like see on Twitter. It's not hand in hand. I thought it was more like
everyone was mental.
The lines are blurred more together. Or like,
no, they're not.
But
you still get mad comments. Yeah. Like there was a comment some guy this morning was like, "You're looking at signing a defender, but realistically, the one change that needs to happen is Ten Hag needs to go." And I just put, "Wow." I mean, they're out there. They're out there.
They're definitely out there. But I'm seeing it. I don't know. Who's more delusional, Arsenal fans or Matt Le Tissier?
Wow, dead eat.
I don't think... I've not seen all of Matt Le Tissier's takes, though.
Well, he refused to answer whether he thought the Earth is flat or not, so you're like...
I've actually never... I'm into a few of my conspiracies, but I've never really taken to the flat earther kind of part of it.
You can literally prove it.
You know what I mean? So.
You can literally go out there and prove it. The problem is when people go, well, this table's flat, and if I extrapolate that to a city, how's the Earth round? What? Fucking what?
So they think, like, if you went to the edge of the Earth somehow, you'd fall off the side.
That's it. All of the observable planets, which you can go and look at with like a 30 quid telescope, they're all round, but we're on a frisbee. Cool story, nerd. The one that does baffle your head is how does water stick to it, right? That one, admittedly, does baffle my head. When it's floating, how does water stick to all sides of a thingy? But, and I don't know why they don't show this as an experiment to explain it really easy. So I watched a video from the space station, and a guy was having a wash, because they show you, like, how do you have a wash in zero gravity? It's fucking mental watching them do it, yeah? So this guy squirted a bit of water from, like, this bag onto a cloth, and the water just stuck to the cloth. And he was like, watch what happens if I try and wring it out. And obviously he wrings it out, and all the water just sort of floated around the middle of it like that. And I went, oh, that's literally seeing gravity in motion round the centre of something, and that's how water sticks to the Earth. Obviously extrapolated to this enormous thing. That's how water sticks to all sides of a thing.
Probably be massive differences in pressure and all that, though.
1,000,000%. So, but like, it was like, because I thought about it and gone, it is crazy how water just sticks, like, I guess upside down, but it's never actually upside down. Mental.
Yeah, everyone's just saying it's gravity and surface tension.
It is, but like, when you actually see it, or when I saw it for the first time, I was like, oh, of course. I never thought it's just falling off on one side. But it was like, seeing it actually sort of gravitate, which is, I guess, the perfect word for it, gravitate to this cloth as it was sort of balled up. It made it click for me. Like, oh yeah, that's how it works. That's literally how it works. Smaller scale, but that's how it works.
So then that's how you've used that to debunk the flat Earth theory.
Not just that,
but a part of it. Is he Brummy?
There you go. Andrew A says the guy you're talking about is Commander Chris Hadfield. Made shitload of videos like that answering random space questions. Mulvaney says Steers had gummies confirmed. Not today. Mangua says Stephen has watched Neil deGrasse. Not recently.
What gravity do you subscribe to? Do you subscribe to? There's no up or down in space.
Yeah, that's what's hard to blow. So our entire reference point is by there is an up or down, because the Earth is so unfathomably large to us.
Mm.
It's like trying to explain to an ant what a fucking skyscraper is, isn't it? They can't fucking get their head around it.
Yeah. I reckon. I don't know about, because don't he stay that sometimes if you go out, astronauts might stay on what you call tour or on a mission for how long? 6 months, a year, sometimes longer. Because I remember seeing something about when astronauts come back.
You can't do a weekend up there.
Yeah, no, because when they when they're there and they come back, they have to almost like acclimatise to Earth again. So walking, like basic movements.
That was the early ones, but I think what they do now is they have them every day performing like quite a lot of exercises to sort of keep them strong.
Otherwise, you come back to Earth and then as soon as you step out of the rocket, you
think about when your arm's in a plastic cast for 6 weeks.
Just melt like that. Yeah,
and then. But imagine like how strong your back,
you lose weight there?
Your legs. Yeah, because you'll have muscle wastage for sure.
Yeah.
Like you're literally fighting against gravity standing up. So every day that's going to affect you. So you don't have that. You're just this fucking jello floating around space. Yeah, eventually you just waste.
Yeah. We've got a flat earther, Lee Kennedy. We found one.
Scroll up and let me give me that super chat set, Jay. Someone just said the Earth is flat but couldn't spell Earth, so that's all you need to know about them. Peter Kelly says the Premier League posted a video that came up and recommended of Ronaldo in 2008 season of goals, assists and skills. Yeah, we're pretty good that year. No two ways around it.
And that's what 15 years ago. And I actually remember that season. That was one of the first seasons that I remember in its entirety, even though I was only 10 years old.
Jesus.
Because
for me that'd have been
because I remember the emotional roller coaster.
93-94.
I remember the emotional roller coaster I was on during the final against Chelsea, and I remember it vividly. So that was definitely the first season seeing that. Well, how many goals did he score? He won the Ballon d'Or and scored like 42.
He won the Ballon d'Or
Year after. Okay.
Andrew says he's wrote a really interesting autobiography as well. I will check that out actually.
Right.
That'd be interesting. Scroll down. Let's get to the bottom.
I don't know.
Mulvaney says they lose bone tension due to they lack tension, and a lot of the time they can be on crutches as they adjust back to gravity. Wild. And Dean says if the Earth is flat, how does the rotation of the stars change depending on what side of the equator you stand? Yeah, so it spins counterclockwise and clockwise, like depending on which way around that you are. That's not something early man would have been able to prove themselves, though, is it?
Yeah. Nah, I
it's
hear
hard
you.
enough as us doing it.
Can I ask someone a question? Or can I ask? All right, Gordy B. Yeah, I'm not sure about the last part, but he says Laetitia is a trypanophore. What does that even mean, for one?
I have no idea.
And I'm guessing he's probably missed the pagan kind of dialogue that was on earlier, because I think he might be into all that, judging by the numbers in his name.
If the Earth is flat, why is it round? Yeah, are you saying why is it like a disc? Why isn't it like a triangle or like a line?
I don't know. Obviously, I think what it comes down to, the Earth, we obviously see astronauts have gone out, they've got imagery out there that have actually seen what it actually looks like. A flat earther is just basically saying they don't believe what they've been told. Is that part of it?
I'm not sure. There's some great documentaries, and there's one of them. Spoiler alert on this one. I can't remember the name of it. On I think it's on Netflix. And at the very last, there's a couple of things that they make them do. They go and do a lot of these experiments, and they're spending hundreds of thousands to do some of these experiments. So they're like, right, if the Earth is really spinning, then we can get this gyroscope, and we should, I think it says the Earth moves at 15 degrees an hour, something along those lines, right? So they said if the Earth is moving at 15 degrees an hour, this really sensitive gyroscope will pick it up. So they went, right, so we've got this gyroscope, and they're like, oh, this gyroscope's broken. And the interviewer goes, so why is it broken? We're like, oh, we're getting a bit of a drift. And he's like, how much drift do you get? And he's like, 15 degrees an hour. So you mean exactly how much it would move if the Earth is moving? So then they put it in this lead box so it wouldn't be affected by atmospheric pressure, and it was still moving at 15 degrees an hour. Completely fucking exactly what it was meant to do if the Earth was spinning. And then they said, right, well, what we're going to do now is we're going to get these big boards, and they're going to cut a hole in it at exactly 15 feet or something like that. And then over X number of kilometre away, at night, we're going to fire a laser through this board at 15 feet, but it's got this big baffle around it, so it's definitely through this, like, football-sized hole at 15 feet, and they got my guy on the other end of it. And he's like, right, okay, turn your laser on. And he's like, it's on. And he's like, yeah, I'm not getting anything. He's like, oh, that's weird. And he goes, hold it above your head. And he holds it above his head. And then it just ends with this, with the guy going, oh. It's fucking brilliant. It's fucking brilliant. Gordy says, afraid of needles, the 6S were just an easy number when I created.
Sixes, you can say.
Oh, right.
When I created Handle 15 years ago. All right, so fair enough. You do you, innit? Lee Kennedy's the one that's the flat earther, and he's getting a bit of grief in the comments, but he said before that you can't go to space.
What?
We had a comment up there saying you can't go to space.
There's a guy that I used to work with that went space.
Astronaut? Yeah.
Major Tim Peake, or Astro Tim, I guess he's called. He was a major when I was in. He was in the same regiment I was in. I'd love to get him on.
Yeah.
Have a chat to him about stuff.
Get him on.
There must be someone I can get into.
I have to be here though, because I need to find out about all this stuff, because I know nothing about all this. Closest I got to it is watching Interstellar. I don't know anything else about in terms of space, and physics was actually one of the things that I did do in school, which I was shit at. So I can't even give the people in the comments saying, you can't get onto me for my Spanish or my history, because I actually got good grades in it. Physics, I borderline failed, so I know fuck all.
Jockey says flat earthers are always a nice laugh. The flat earth ones baffle me, because I'm pretty sure like the Greeks figured out, one of them had travelled like a certain amount and noticed at noon the shadow was longer in one place than the other, and he went, oh, based on the fact that the shadow, for this same obelisk, the same size as the one in Athens, it casts a shadow like X number of feet here and X number of feet there, and he calculated based on that, then I reckon that the Earth is a ball, and actually I think he said, I think it's this big, and he was like not far off how big he thought it might be based on that. That is what you call mathing.
Fuck.
That's from serious math. That's because he's no iPhones, and he's not fucking sitting there looking at fat asses on Instagram where he's going, oh shit. Yeah. You can actually sit there and think about some shit.
Now, hey, can you make sense of what Pied Piper's said in that a lot of scientific jargon there?
I can't even read that word. The antecedent to pressure gradient is a containment, so the antecedent to directional vector is motion. Motion is what you think is gravity. It's demonstrable, but reality denying Dunning-Kruger's.
Like, you don't get it.
Don't throw a load of big words in there and make me feel stupid when actually...
You know what that reminds me of? Have you seen that clip in that movie, I can't remember, from Kevin Hart, where he says, you're just throwing a lot of big words at me, so I'm just going to take it as a sign of disrespect. Don't talk to
Fuck you! How about that?
He goes,
don't threaten me!
Everyone, he goes, you're just throwing a lot of big words at me right now, and I don't have a clue what any of them means, so I'm just going to take it as a sign of disrespect. And he goes, watch your mouth. It's fucking hilarious.
Yeah, but listen, here's how we know you don't understand that, because the fact that you threw all of that in there, they say if you understand something deeply, you can explain it simply enough that a 5-year-old can understand it. That's when you know that you've actually got deep understanding of something.
Yeah. He just put like, let me get the thesaurus out.
Baffle him with a load of words that I don't actually even know how to pronounce.
It's simple, Steve.
Right, yeah, I get that. I understand what you're saying when you say that some people mistake gravity for what is actually motion, and the motion is what's holding you in place on some things, right? but gravity also actually 100% definitely exists. Like, I can't believe I've even said that on this fucking thing here.
Yeah.
Mike says, Manchester Evening News yesterday named 12 players they report will be sold or dumped if it's true of Transformers United team. I can name those they mention if anyone wants. I would be shocked if they get rid of 12, because you can't bring in 12, and by the way, you need those 12. You can't just have a squad of 8. You know what I mean? Like, you're going to need to bring in a decent-sized squad.
That's the issue. The rebuild's going to have to be incremental, which it's going to have teething pains, and it's not worked out that greatly within the last few seasons. And I think the one way of actually stopping that is, as good as they seem at the time, is we're going to have to move away from the likes of Varane and Casemiro signings. Do you know what I mean? And I think what we have to do is, I think they were kind of more ceiling raisers in terms of signings. I think United need to sign more players that are floor raisers.
Lee Kennedy says gravity doesn't exist. Cool, we'll go and sit on the roof then and shut the fuck up. Anyway, DB Cooper says Nicolas Cage being employed as the world's greatest mystery. It's not mystery, it's nepotism, but there we go. Anyway, cheers for tuning in, and as always, make sure to subscribe. Please go and check out our sponsors, 10 Trade, because they actually are doing some good stuff and giving people some education. It's well worth a look. It's going to cost you nothing to go and have a mess about and maybe get a little bit educated about some shit. Otherwise, we'll be back next Thursday to talk some absolute fucking wibble in a bit.
Hey, thank you for watching the video. If you are new around these parts, then don't forget to subscribe. My channel is proudly supported by my community on Patreon. If you'd like to get a little bit of extra content, a Discord group, meetups, five-a-side games, weekly podcasts, behind the scenes, and even an occasional bit of transfer news as and when I get it, then for the price of a pint, you can